Okay, can I just go back to U2 for 1 minute
Yeah.
without uh, getting into anything that you can't give away right now? Are you planning to see them at the Sphere minus
I
Larry?
yeah, I love Larry so much. Like it's a bummer that he won't be doing the shows. I think they kept it pretty quiet about what was going on with Larry until like 6 months or so ago. There was an article in New York Times or something like that that just sort of like, and they buried the lead. It was like paragraph 10 or something
Yep.
like that. They're like, oh, Larry's been having hand troubles and probably will never drum with them again. We're like, what? Although I think he does plan on returning, right? But just after these shows.
He
2020.
ac- he actually said in that same article, I think it was before they announced these shows or when they were going to be, that he said, well, if U2's playing, I won't be playing with, I'm not going to be playing this year. I think it was
Right.
in that same article. Yeah.
It's so hard to be a drummer. I can imagine. You know, it's the toughest instrument to play, and it's you have to like to do that night after night after night. I mean, everyone who's Max Weinberg, I think, has had a lot of health issue. He had those bandages on his fingers the entire Born in the USA tour, didn't he?
Yes.
It's so rough.
Yeah.
It is, it is brutal. It
But
is
I want to
take,
see him. Are you going to go see him?
I'm gonna go. My husband has an issue also. He's a drummer, hobby drummer, and has having a hard time with it. But he knows he'll go for me because
And
he
that
can't. He was trying to take a stand. I'm not going without the drummer.
Oh, I see. I thought you were saying that he can't drum, so he's not going to go
But
see
no, no, he
anyone
is
else
a
drum
he is a drummer,
because
and
he would be
because
tempted to jump up on stage and
Yeah.
drum with them. Now I understand what you're saying.
no, yes, as a drummer, to clarify,
Solidarity
he
with drummers.
exactly the band shouldn't play with a drummer. This is, I mean, Larry's a crucial,
What
obviously, member
isn't
of the
Larry's
band.
son going to play with him though, taking his place?
Junior.
Yeah, the third, I guess.
Yeah.
um, I that's what I thought, but I it's been a minute since
No,
I've
it's someone
really.
else. They listed they
Oh, it's someone totally different.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
totally different. Yeah, and I think it's I don't know if it's U2 management or something, but it's I think the same thing happened with the pop tour where they made plans to tour and like we have to put out a record, you have to release this pop
Right.
album already. And now they had already had this Vegas plan and then
Yeah.
well,
Larry bows out.
no, we got to do this. So I don't know.
Do
U2,
they have to do anything? I don't know.
they they don't, but
I do like that they're still ambitious. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I like that they're not just like the Rolling Stones who are like, hey, it's gonna be 20 years before our next album, you know? Like they still want it, you know? One the first time we interviewed U2, Bono hung out afterwards with us in the recording studio. We were at Electric Ladyland, and he played us like 5 songs he was working on and sang them in our ear, like so we would get the lyrics and stuff, and we were like, oh cool dude, sounds good. You know. And
oh,
but then none of those songs ended up on the album. It was very interesting. Like he's just like constantly striving for perfection in a way.
Did you get to give him feedback on the music?
Yeah, I was like, honestly, Bono, try again.
Maybe
You know,
just tweak the lyrics a little bit.
the singing and the lyrics, like, love the music.
did you go to his book reading or if you heard his memoir or anything like that?
I haven't read it yet. I may go to. I'm doing some book release shows in New York. When he's doing those shows in New York, so I may go to one of those shows.
Do it. Don't miss it.
You saw it?
I saw it twice.
Whoa! Was it the same show both times, or was it different?
Well, it was different because it was basically the same, but the difference was that the second time I saw it was in France. So he did a little bit,
Ooh la
you know,
la.
he spoke a little bit to the French audience, but
Oh, cool.
it was pretty much the same. Yeah.
Is it sort of like the Springsteen on Broadway shows?
Um, I did not see Springsteen on Broadway, but yes.
You should check it out. It's on Netflix. It's very
Yes,
good.
I know.
And
It's been in the queue for
you might
Yeah.
you might listen to the Audible version because I think it's kind of Bono does impersonations. He likes
Oh,
when he's like talking to Bill Clinton. He will do a Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Like, okay, all right, you go, you go with this.
so I was talking to George W. Bush, and he said, "Not gonna do it."
It was a little bit yes.
That would be HW, I guess.
Yeah.
What if George W. Bush started imitating his own father? Well, here's the deal. I'm not gonna die.
I'm glad you caught yourself like
It's where I highly recommend. It has everything. You'll laugh, you'll cry. It's
you'll kiss $500 goodbye.
well worth it.
Well, yeah.
I don't believe I'll be paying any money to see it.
Oh, okay.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, you know people. Okay, bye.
Okay, Bono.
Bono, buddy. He did try to text us once. I will say that was very thrilling.
Got it. And what does it come up as Bono, or where did you?
No, here's what happened.
Bonobo.
At the Madison Square Garden show. He knew we were doing an REM show, and Michael Stipe was there, and he was like, came over to us and was like, "Have you ever met Michael?" And we said, "No, we've wanted to." He goes, "Oh, I'll introduce you." And he walked over to Michael, and we're like, "Whoa, wow, okay." And then Michael Stipe was talking to Patti Smith, and then Bono like is talking to him for a second, and then just sits down with them, and then like 45 minutes later is deep in conversation with them. And Adam and I go like, okay, he forgot. And so we leave the party, and we get these frantic texts the next day through another person, our intermediary. And it was like, "Bono's trying to get a hold of you. Are you still in New York? He feels so bad that he stood you up and didn't introduce you to Michael. He wants you to come to an art show that Michael's having today, and he'll broker the deal." And we're like, we were on a plane back to LA. We're like, we can't. But thank you, Bono, for trying to text us.
Right.
I wonder if he felt rejected.
Yeah, we're shutting down Bono. Bono, we're on a plane.
Thanks, but no.
But thanks anyway.
Yeah, I can't believe you didn't cozy up with Patty and Michael. Just kind of, hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, Bono said he'd introduce. How obnoxious would we have to be?
No, you don't.
Dropping Bono's name.
Yeah, we did end up meeting Michael and interviewing Michael, which was nice. Mm-hmm. And then we went to dinner with Michael and Mike of REM after the interview. And I kind of felt like the outsider in a way, a little bit, because I'm the least famous of any of them, you know. And Michael Stipe very nicely turned to me and said, "Why don't you sit right by me?" And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And then he talked to me for a while and lit up when I mentioned that I had a movie coming out, the Between Two Ferns movie, and then told me his idea for a movie, that he was like, "You can have this if you want," and told me his idea for a movie.
Was it the comedy?
I don't want to say what it was because I ended up not doing anything with it, and I would love for him to still do something with it at some point. So
comedy of Michael Stipe. All right.
Yeah. But yeah, all these people are so like everyone in U2 was so nice, and everyone in REM has been so nice. It's we've only met Jerry Harrison of Talking Heads, but he was super nice too. So
going to the Adrian Belew, Jerry Harrison shows?
No, they asked me to moderate it when it was at the Wiltern, and it was literally 2 days before I had a baby. So I said I couldn't do it, but I turned them on to Tawny, who ended up moderating it. Tawny, who is Tawny Newsome, who's plays she's in Star Trek Lower Decks and stuff like. She's a huge Talking Heads fan, and she was in a tribute band to Talking Heads, and she is a musician herself and loves Adrian Belew to the degree where she constantly is telling her guitar player, "Make it sound more like Adrian Belew." And so I was like, "Look, you don't want me doing this, you want her doing it," and she did a great job with it. But yeah, she sent me videos from the show, and it looked pretty cool. Did you guys see it?
No. That was.
Yeah.
I'd love to have gone